I know. So earlier you said that there was the recovery, and then you just mentioned that there's preparation. Is there like a 3-stage process? You have the preparation, the actual event, and then you have the recovery session, and then it kind of just cycles through it again.
How do you mean?
So if like let's say you're in a competition, you're trying to prepare for like the mindset for going through all the different moves that you know what to do, what you do best, what you are weaker in, and then you have the actual competition, and then you have the recovery before your next match. When you're going, would that be like an accurate representation of the process?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're preparing and then when you recover, so not so much the actual match, but preparation and recovery, what do you do to make sure that your preparation optimizes yourself for the match so that when you're with the person, when you're in the match, you're not overthinking? And then how do you make sure that your recovery doesn't hurt you? So like you're like, even so if you win or lose, doesn't matter. You won't either get more pride because you won, or you won't feel too bad if you lost.
Mm-hmm. I think I strongly believe that you don't, when it comes to competition, you don't rise to the level of your expectations, but you fall to the level of your preparation. So, and this is something that I've learned through jiu-jitsu, because I used to overthink a lot when I was playing hockey. I would think a lot about the things I'm going to do, I'm going to try to do out there. And then it just, those opportunities wouldn't present themselves, or when they did, I would miss them, maybe because I'm waiting for that opportunity. So I've learned in jiu-jitsu to just trust the preparation takes place every day, basically. And it's every day in practice. That's how I'm preparing for the competition. Because when I get to the competition, for me to feel the most free out there is to not really think about it at all. I definitely do have a game plan, and I think a little bit about what it is my first couple of moves. But other than that, I try not to think too much about it, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to get any better that day right before the competition. It's what I've done in the months leading up to it that's going to determine, and how I prepared my body just physically in the leading up to it, that's going to determine how well I do. And then after, you think about what went right, what went wrong, and then you shake it off. It doesn't matter if I won or lost. I think you have to be very okay with losing a lot, especially early on in the career. I'm still, I'd say I have less than, I probably have around 60 jiu-jitsu fights at this point. I would say between white and blue belt, I have like 33 wins.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So it would be like, so it's not like 1/3 preparation, 1/3 match, 1/3 recovery. It's more like 50% preparation, 25%, or it's more like 60% preparation, 20% the match, and then 20% recovery, and then you go back to preparation. Or would you have a more skewed? Because it seems like it would take like 50 hours for you to prepare, and then the match itself is like only like 5 minutes, and your recovery process may be like an hour or two, just when also like sleeping on it and everything.
Well, that's the thing. In the tournaments, at least, you sometimes don't even have more than 5 minutes to recover and to go into your next one. So that's what I mean by shaking it off. You just have to focus on the next one, no matter if you won, no matter if you lost. You take the good and try to remember that. Maybe try to replicate it. Take the bad, try to make sure you don't do that shit again, or tweak whatever it is you want to. If you were close to something but slipped up somewhere, but ultimately it's just about being present, taking what comes to you, seeing the opportunities that lay before you, and take them.
So there isn't any recovery. It's just preparation, and then 95% preparation.
No,
and 5%
I would say most of my preparation is just getting my heart rate down, slowing my heart rate down, breathing. Focus on breathing to literally let my muscles recover as well as they can in the short span of time I have between matches. And other than that, if my opponent, my next opponent is fighting before me, I'll be watching.
Right, seeing what their moves are, seeing what their tactics are.
Trying to gather a little bit of a game plan for that particular person.
Kind of like business. You scoping out your competitors to see what they're doing well, and how can you either apply that or exploit their weaknesses.
Yeah. For me, it might sound stupid, but I try not to put too much thought into it. That's why I like training as much as I do, because that's where I build my game plan and the habits that I fall back on. Because at the end of the day, the competition is just rolling. We do that every day. It's just rolling, but I finally get to go 100%. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. And it has really helped me not put so much pressure on myself when it comes to how I perform. Because at the end of it, because like I said, it's one day. You know what I mean? It's one day, 5 minutes, if even.
Every competition's like what, 3 minutes, 3 months between each one?
That I've been doing like 3 weeks, 4 weeks between competitions since August.
So 1 month and then competition, 1 month, one competition. So if you do, how many? You said 3 hours a day and then it's 30 days. So 90 hours a month about, or let's say 100 hours a month. So you train, just hypothetically, 100 hours a month for a 5-minute session.
Mm-hmm.
And then another 100 hours a month for another 5 minutes. So most of your preparation, so 100 hours, reduce that to minutes, so 6,000 hours, 6,000 minutes. I need more caffeine. 6,000 minutes for 5 minutes of actual sparring and then little break, 5 minutes. So, and how many matches do you do?
I mean, it depends. Can be 8, say average 8.
8, okay. So about 40, so you do 6,000 minutes for 40 minutes of actual results. And then you do another 6,000 minutes for another 40-minute results. So basically, it's all just preparation, and there's no recovery. It's just preparation includes the training, the behavior, so your mindset of what does your brain first think about when you're in a certain position, right? This because it's like kind of like chess. Once you know how the other person plays, but you also know the rules of the game and what you can do, what you can't do, and the best moves in a certain position, it gets to the point where your chess match is 100% skill-based. If you fail, you fail. But a lot of the training for a chess match isn't while you're doing the game. It's way before, learning from other people's mistakes, other people's moves. So you have training, you have the mindset and being able to identify patterns and exploit problems. And then you also have the, I guess like recovery within the preparation to be able to process that information, and then going back to training, learning everything, instilling that into your memory, and then keeping that in your memory, and then repeating over for 6,000 minutes, and then you apply that for 40 minutes, and then get wiped out, and then redo that entire process again.
It's kind of silly, isn't it? It sounds kind of silly.
It sounds silly.
Beautiful.
Well,
I'll take it one step further. You can say the whole thing is preparation. That's what I like to think about it. We're going on a trajectory like this, regardless. It can go up and down, but we're just preparing for what comes next. It's continuous growth the entire time. The whole time I'm preparing, those 6,000 minutes. I'm preparing for those 40 minutes, and those 40 minutes I'm preparing myself for the next cycle of it, because it's going to give me a sense of direction for those next 6,000 minutes. And it's all preparing for something bigger, whatever comes next. Even the fight itself is learning and preparing for the future training and for the next fight.
Looks like the executive producer is here.
He's back. He's back.
So it's learning. So learning, retaining, or learning, remembering, retaining, and then the test of whether or not you actually retained it properly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to the very beginning. So it's just.
Yeah, but I think of it as one part. Like, it's just still your life. You know what I mean? It's just preparing for something else, and then you could say a test.
Well, test not like a traditional test where it's like multiple choice A, B, C, or D, and you choose one of those.
Exactly. That's why it's so amazing. There's endless possibilities. There's endless errors you can make and still win, or 0 errors you can make and still lose.
So it's just a test, but everything is, you have to fill in the blank.
Yeah, everything is fill in the blank. Exactly. And however you choose to do that is what fighting is to you.
Right. Or anything that's not just like a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah. Anything that's creative. I mean, we call it martial arts, right? Because it's an art form. But we like to also think of it as a science, because we're doing research, we're studying the process and studying what it means to do this and what you need in order to win.
It's all one continuous process.
Yeah, it's one continuous process, and it's kind of whatever you make of it.
Yeah.
That's what I like it. Fighting is whatever you make of it. And have you read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
It's a great book by Douglas Adams. These aliens come and just destroy Earth, right? That's like how the book starts. Earth is just eradicated. There's this one guy that is friends with a guy that was an alien, but he didn't know that. And he helped him like get off the planet before. So then they all of a sudden just become hitchhikers in the galaxy, basically. And at one point in the book, there's this super mega computer that's supposed to have all the answers to life, all the life answers. And you're supposed to be able to ask it anything and it'll give you an answer. And these guys come up to this computer and they ask him, hey, what, I forget the name of the computer, but they ask, like, computer, what is the meaning of life? And the computer was like stunned. And he said, all right, give me 1,000 years. Come back to me in 1,000 years and I'll have an answer for you. So they wait 1,000 years, you know, someone else, and 1,000 years later comes and asks the same question. And it said 42. And you're like, what? And 42 is like the numerical value of a semicolon, I believe. Or an asterisk. Yeah, semicolon. And the function of a semicolon is like whatever comes after it is whatever you make of it. It's something like that. Whatever you can put, whatever, it's like you put whatever goes after a semicolon. So that is what it means by the meaning of life, is whatever you make of it.
Why not just say that?
Right? Because it's a computer. That's why. But yes, that was the exact same question. I was like, I just read this entire chapter just to find out that it could have been solved in one sentence.
So how do you make of it?
What do I make of it?
Yeah, how do you make of it?
What do I make of it? I make of it that it
improves your self.
Yeah, I make of it that it's making me want to improve in all areas of my life.